What is up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium, and I react to video game music as a musician myself. Today is a Patreon request for Solid Bullet 066. This is Touhou 4 Lotus Land. Story, the song is called Maiden's Capriccio. Or Capriccio, I'm not really sure, but it sounds very Italian. Actually, I think that's a musical term for kind of like a jubilant type of song, if I recall. So, but the requester told me that this is actually the main character. So, I'm not sure if that means for Touhou or for Touhou 4. Either way, so it's an important song. Also, this is a part 1 of 2 because I'm going to be checking out another very similar song right after this from Touhou 8. Anyways, this is Maiden's Capriccio from the ever-growing Touhou library on this channel. Let's go. I immediately thought of a Game Boy. The green screen gray one. Okay, yeah, that's pretty jubilant sounding. Feels like a carnival ride. There's that thing again where it's like a really fast part underneath a really slow part. Kind of reminds me of like Gen 1 Pokemon stuff, which is the only Pokemon I know. But where are the trumpets? They're missing. How long is this song? Oh, okay, 3 minutes. It's catchy. Oh, percussion drop. That's rare in this game, I think. And it's gonna come back right now. It's the same beat as the thrash metal beat. So what I'm saying is this could easily be turned into a thrash metal song. Someone out there has to do it. It's a short loop. Reminds me of very old Capcom stuff. It just reminded me immediately of like a Game Boy handheld. Although it sounded better than a Game Boy, but it just had that like 8-bit kind of tonality to it. So interesting enough is this is a word I haven't heard in a very long time. I actually forgot it existed, Capriccio, which musically, which I'm guessing is what it means here. Musically, it means something along the lines of like a very kind of like weird, happy song. It's a very specific definition, but if you think about it, I feel like all of Touhou's music are like Capriccios. they're all kind of this similar like formula, and they don't really deviate too far from it. Now, this is not a like a bad thing towards it. It's just what it is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So you can always expect almost about the same tempo in most of these songs, and a fast part underneath a slow melody. That's kind of like the recipe for this, you know what I mean? And that brings me to my next point is, you know, at first I was curious. I'm like, how does someone write so many songs for so many games? You know, that's actually kind of intimidating for musicians and non-musicians. Like, how do they do it? And now I'm seeing how. I'm kind of putting it together now. And if you notice, like I said, most of the songs have this kind of very simple melody formula where like the main melody is very simple, like dun 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 dun, something like that, right? Which is what we heard here. I see two ways this is happening. One, this guy is just always humming music in his head, like, and then just puts it to a keyboard. Or he just plays so much and just hits like he just jams a lot of like notes until he makes like a tiny little melody. It doesn't have to be big, just like a little, like, in this case, you know, just like dun dun, same note, right? Dun dun da da da. And then just from there he goes like, okay, I'm gonna build an entire track off of this, which is how songs get done. But for him, I feel like, I don't know, I'm just taking a guess because he writes so many, is that you have to just ride off of what you just made. So off of that tiny little melody, okay, well now I can make a rhythm off of that based in the same key, and then just add drums to it, and then just now copy and paste different sections of it repeated. So now it's kind of making sense as to how he's making so many songs for so many games. It's either he hears it in his head and then plays it, or he probably just hits random notes until something comes out and then takes that tiny little thing into a gigantic piece, essentially. Which I do the same thing, you know. That's what jamming is. When I'm not sure if people know what jamming is. I don't know. The reason I say that is because I've mentioned jamming before, and people don't know like the actual definition of it. Jamming is just like when you're just improvising, just hitting notes. There's no rules, nothing. Just kind of whatever your brain puts into your fingers or whatever, and then eventually, like, you'll have like this oh moment, or like a band member or something be like, oh, what was that? You know, something like that, and then you just make something out of it. It's not like you can just make stuff out of nowhere. I guess some people can, but everything I've ever made and everything that I'm sure Zune has made has been through just jamming and playing and just like having fun with their instrument, which is pretty cool. So a big rant there, but I think I see how someone can make so many songs. I don't know how many Touhou songs there are, but I'm going to assume over 100 total. And in order to do that, you need to get very creative with very minimal things. And like I said, simple does not mean bad. It just means it's simple. It's all these melodies in Touhou are very simple. They're very catchy. They're easy to hum along and to whistle along, and that's it works. And that's why it gets stuck in your guys' head in order to go request it to a stranger on the internet so you can review it for thousands of people. Is because it's effective and it works. And now I get to do the same thing and then show my friends and all that and be like, hey, have you heard of Touhou? Because this is going to get stuck in your head. And the cycle continues, and here we are, blah, blah, blah. Welcome to the auditorium. If you want to make a request to me, you can do so on Patreon or PayPal. Either are totally fine. And those are guaranteed ways I will check out your song. If you do not want to wait, though, because the wait list is pretty dang massive, there is a platinum trophy tier on Patreon, which I provide. It is a limited position, and it fills up. It expedites your request to the very top of the list, priority. A big thank you to, I don't have the list open because I'm not professional. A big thank you to Justin, Kevin, Moon Knight, DJ Singletone, and your average metalhead for being a part of that. Thanks to all my other supporters on Patreon, on PayPal, everywhere else, or just you for watching. I appreciate it. Until next time, dudes and dudettes. My name is Jesse. This has been the Auditorium. More Touhou. Actually, there's more Touhou coming up after this, so stay tuned for Touhou 8. That's all I'm going to say. Peace.